All right, so here we go. Here's an example of a combo circuit. All right, so I think that this is going to make it a lot clearer when you get to see it. Okay, so the first thing you have to notice is that it is a combination circuit, right? Because I see two paths here, okay? But in this second path, I see two resistors, okay? So that means that this is going to be some kind of a combination, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw my circuit. Some ammeters in there, okay? And then I'm going to draw another ammeter, a couple other voltage circles. There we go, okay? Oops, that is not even close to being right. Got to fit two in there. Whoops, I'm doing that. Okay. All right, another resistor, and then there we go, okay? All right. So then that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so let's see what it gives us in the problem. So it says the total voltage is 30. All right, so I know here I'm going to make 0 volts, and I'm going to carry that, watch, all the way around till I see a resistor. And 30 at the top all the way around until I see a resistor. Okay? Right, so immediately what I notice here is this right here is dropping from 30 to 0. So that is going to be, let's call this one R1, R2, and R3. Okay, this here, look, both of these circles are filled in. All right, that's why you need to fill in those voltage circles. So that means that R1 is going to have a 30 volt drop. Okay, and you can see here R2 and R3 are going to share a 30 volt drop, right? From here to here, they're going to have to share that 30 volt drop. Okay? All right, let's see what else it gives us. First branch, R1, and that's all we got. Okay, so we don't really have much information. All right? So let's see what else is in this table. Here I see that the third resistor has 1 amp of current. Okay? So here's the third resistor, right? And that's on this path here. Okay, so that's going to be this ammeter, 1 amp. But look, this R2 is on the same path. Okay, so that means R2 is also going to have 1 amp of current. Okay, because these guys are in the same path. Okay, so now I know V equals IR, so let's see if we can start figuring out some other stuff now. Oh, I should have taken this off. I'll go back and take that off. Okay. So the voltage is the current times the resistance. So for R2, I have 1 amp and 10 ohms. So that's going to be 10 volts. Okay. So the R2 drop is going to be 10 volts. All right. So when I drop 30 minus 10, this circle is going to have to be 20. Okay. And now I can see here 20 to 0 is going to be the next drop. Right. Which is right because I said these had to add to 30. Okay, all right, so let's keep calculating, right? So the voltage 20 equals 1 times, this is going to have to be 20. Okay, all right, and let's see what else we've got. So we're still looking for some of the currents, okay? All right, so this path is 1 amp, but that doesn't tell me anything about the total or the other path, okay? So we got to find that another way. So if you take a look here in the table for R1, right, we have 30 equals something times 20, okay? Or the current, right, V over R is going to be 30 over 20, which is going to be 1.5 amps. So that path is going to be 1.5 amps. Okay? Right, now be careful when you're adding these up, right? You don't just add this whole thing, right? Because this is not all in parallel. This 1 amp is the same path. That's just a duplicate. Okay, so it's better, I think, to look at the picture. If I have 1.5 amps coming down here and 1 amp coming down here, then my total is going to be 2.5 amps. Okay, and then always, almost last, right, R is going to be V over I, which is going to be 30 over 2.5. This is almost always going to be the last step, is going to come out to be 12 ohms. Oops. Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look at my graph. Okay. So I'm going to go A, B, C prime. Oh, no, sorry. C, C prime, okay, but this is where it gets a little tricky because this one on the right has to have 2 drops. So I'm going to call this D prime, E prime, F prime, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and call C, I'm going to go ahead and call this F instead of D, right? Do you see why? Because F happens at 0 volts, right? And I want that to match up, okay? So I'm going to have A, B, C, D, E, F, and back to A. So let's go 10, 20, 30, okay? So my first one is going to go, A to B is going to go to 30, and then my flat, okay? Let's do the prime one first because that one's a little tricky. C prime to D prime, I'm going to drop, oops, that's not right. I'm going to drop by 10 volts to 20, okay? And then I'm going to drop the rest of it down there to F, okay? My other path is going to go from C straight down in one fell swoop to F, right? That's going to take the whole voltage drop. All right, so that is how number 1 is going to look. All right, they're a little tricky at first, but once you practice, it'll be okay.